get the momentum up and get some heat in the tires. Of course, these cars going in the corner, really don't know how fast these cars are going in the corner, but right now if you see it, the fast times in practice, we're looking at about 115 to 120 average. You got to believe they're about 135 to 40 going into the corner.
Well, we're going to see what they are here. Sandy Eaton, first car to take time.
Sandy Eaton on the track right now out of Crawfordsville, Indiana, the First Lady of Speed, sponsored by Curtis Motor Sales. Mike Blake Racing, car number 81. Her first lap, 16.011. 16.011, 112.423 miles per hour. The First Lady of Speed burns it off of turn 4. She's going into the 15s. Well, the reason these cars are pushed off is they do not have starters, clutches, or transmissions. Literally, the crankshaft is connected to the drive shaft by a U-joint going right through the middle of the firewall, going back to the rear end. There's nothing there. It's an in-out box. You're either in gear or you're out of gear with these cars. But right now on the track out of Toledo, Ohio, the Bulldog, Jimmy McCune, sponsored by Biobase.us.
Traction over in 4.
We missed it. Yep. First lap 15.916. Second lap 15.818 for Jimmy McCune. Sorry about that. I didn't quite get the numbers read up here in time. But speaking of in time, here comes the car number 37 out of Angola, Indiana. The Hurrien one, Hurrien Hank Lauer. Hank Lauer, sponsored by Greg Parr Trucking, Randy's Trannies, Cat's Well Drilling, and a whole host of small sponsors on this guy. 53 years in racing, 74 years old. Hurrien Hank Lauer goes in. His first lap, 15.644. 15.644 his first time by. Hank Lauer going to beat the clock. Second lap. 15.608 his second lap. Lap of record for the car number 37 out of Angola, Indiana. Hurrien Hank Lauer. Next up to qualify the car out of Ottawa Lake, Michigan. This is Dave Baumgartner. Dave Baumgartner, sponsored by Southwestern Truck Service and Scarlett's Cabaret. And he goes on the clock. Ottawa Lake, Michigan, right down there on the Michigan-Ohio line on the north side of Toledo. Dave Baumgartner rockets to the top of the field, 15.285. 15.285. Listen to him carry it in the corner. You heard it burn the biscuits off the 4. Here he comes. This guy was the fastest car in practice. This is young Jason Cox out of Park City, Illinois. Third generation driver. His father Tim drives the purple number 4 car. Jason sponsored by DJ Racing out of Boca Raton, Florida. Green flag lap. Folks, get ready for this. Jason Cox is a nuclear yellow car tonight. Off of 4 down to the white flag. Hang on tight, folks. First lap. 14.381. 14.381. That's 125.165 miles per hour. Hang on, folks. Here he comes again. Now on the track, the car number 75C out of Ney, Ohio. This is Jerry Carrier. Jerry Carrier in the 75C. He doesn't have a transponder. 16.972 for the Jerry Carrier car. 16.972. Sponsored by Marty's Tavern, Regal Radiator, and Terry Tressler Plumbing. Now on the track out of Rohnert Park, California. He's been fast qualifier twice in 2012. Sponsored by the Alcohol and Drug Testing Services Brownsburg Trackside Automotive. This is JoJo Hellberg. Folks, Hellberg is fast. I don't know if you just caught that. He is quick. Let's see how fast JoJo Hellberg is. 14.243. 14.243, 126, and here he comes to the checkered flag. Next up to qualify, the car number 40-1, the True Fuel Royal Oak Charcoal entry of Brian Olson. Out of Puyallup, Washington, Brian Olson won that race at Mobile International Speedway back in April. Comes down to the green flag, Brian Olson. You see these cars get a little bit unsettled going over the hump back there into 3. Down to the white flag, Olson's first lap. 15.210. 118.343 miles per hour. So 15.21 his first lap.
Identical lap.
Second lap, 15.130 at 118. Next up to qualify out of Park City, Illinois, this is Jason Cox's father, Tim Cox. Sponsored by DJ Racing, D&N Welding. And Dad's Back Pocket. Tim Cox out of Park City, Illinois. First lap for Tim, 16.483. 16.483 at 109.2 miles per hour. Little hiccup over the bump. As we go qualifying. Next car up to qualify right now, this is the 50-1 car of Mike Larison. Mike Larison out of Avon, Indiana, sponsored by True Fuel, Royal Oak Charcoal, Calumet. Oh, got a little high up there in turn 2. Saw the car kind of take off ever so slightly, and he had to back out of it on the warm-up lap. It will not matter. He's on the green flag now. Oh, Mike. Definitely got all 4 above the black on that one. That may not work a third time as he comes down to the white flag. Hang on, folks. Mike Larison, 15.478. 15.478. You heard him feather the throttle a little bit, trying to get the front end back underneath it. Up off of 4, down to the checkered flag. 15.663. Well, just like that, we're down to 3 cars to qualify the way it looks. And the first one of those 3 to qualify out of Crawfordsville, Indiana, sponsored by the Walnut Creek Elk Ranch, Wilson Brothers Racing. This is Jacob Wilson. Jacob Wilson, the black 07.
Broke traction over there.
A good first lap for Jacob Wilson. He's in the 14s, folks. A 14.948. 14.948, 120.417 miles per hour. Let's see what happens. That's what happens. Next up to qualify out of Bangor, Michigan. This is Jeff Bloom. Jeff Bloom out of Bangor, Michigan, sponsored by Tony Stewart's Eldora Speedway. PGG Enterprises, Sterling Express, Allen Trailer Sales, all on board the car number 26. Jeff, about 45 years in racing, has raced out here in the past. Not at Shangri-La Speedway, but he's raced all over the United States in super modifieds and stock cars. Actually raced first lap for Jeff, 16.005. 16.005 at 112 mile an hour. Get ready to tell you, he actually raced a front engine roadster at Pocono back in 1981. His second lap, 111 mile an hour at a 16.207. 16.207 second lap for Jeff Bloom. You saw him take it down to the concrete, trying to get that car to turn. One more car to qualify, and this guy has a real shot at breaking that track record. Of course, Aaron Pierce out of Daleville, Indiana. Sponsored by Sam Pierce Chevrolet, Valvoline Oils, Tom Cherry Mufflers, all riding along with the black 26 off of turn 4. You hear him just ripping that throttle off the mat just ever so gingerly down there in 1 and 2. He gets over the bump pretty well now. Got a little wiggly there. Aaron Pierce, his first lap. 15.254. 15.254, 118 mile an hour. Let's see if AP can drop it into the 14s. Final lap of qualifying tonight. 15.251, 118 mile an hour. So
Chief Starter Gary Folk Jr. looking to field over. We are racing, going back to yesteryear with the vintage modified. 6 laps is the distance. We'll re-rack and restack them for their feature a little bit later on. As they come off of turn number 2, they come out into single file.
And it's going to be Bill Fitzsimmons in the lucky four-leaf clover. Always decoration on Bill Fitzsimmons' car when he ran in the Legends at the old Shangri-La. That was what he had on his car. So Bill Fitzsimmons going to lead lap number 1. It's the 71 of Rob Castee running in second.
And Castee we saw very, very quick during the hot lap session, but Alex Ames coming up on the 2X as well in that old, I guess we could call that a sedan as he goes down towards turn number 1. We've got coupe bodies, sedan bodies, Pinto bodies. We've got them all out there in the vintage modifieds.
Well, I can tell you, talking to Bill Fitzsimmons briefly a little bit tonight, it was the 21 car that he was a little bit intimidated by, and we got caution coming out. Bob Ripley has spun up here between 1 and 2. Looks like a single car spin. The vintage cars are running a 4-race series. They'll be up at Spencer Speedway tomorrow night, and they will finish out the 4 races next weekend with the final race on Sunday at Chemung Speedrome. And so our cars pick up the pace once again in the 4-leaf clover. Bill Fitzsimmons taking the 3X machine into turn number 1. He's going to lead the way off 2, leaving behind a battle for the second spot, and it's shaping up to be a battle. Looking to the inside is the 2X of Alex Amel.
Well, Rob Castee left the door open with that 71E, but he's quickly reclaimed that second spot. Fitzsimmons, your leader. Castee in second, Amel in third. Meanwhile, another battle shaping up. That's Ray Preston in the 17. He's giving some challenges, or was giving some challenges, to the 33L of Whipple. But now Castee, the 17D is starting to fall back through the field. Preston falling back.
Well, this time by Gary Folk Jr. giving the indication 2 laps remaining. I can tell you one guy who's going to be a happy camper if he can hang on and win this heat race, and that is Bill Fitzsimmons, who picked up a pair of wins in the Legends division over at the old Shangri-La. He's been working on this project for about 2 or 3 years now, and proud as a peacock, and he will take the white flag.
Great job by Bill Fitzsimmons. Coming on the way down from Spencerport, New York, and we have one up and around over there in turn number 4. That is the A1 of Shirley Morden, and Shirley just gets it all smoking over there in turn number 3.
Well, we're down to 6 cars. We're down to 1 lap to settle the score here. It's been a good battle with Bill Fitzsimmons. He's been able to hold off Rob Castee. 1 lap remaining. Watch our starter, Gary Folk Jr., and the green is out. And the luck of the Irish taking Mr. Fitzsimmons into turn number 1. Casti goes high. That opens up the inside lane for the 2X of Alex Amel down the back straightaway.
Amel in second, setting his sights on Fitzsimmons as they go into turn number 3. Casti right there in third as they come across the line. It's going to be Bill Fitzsimmons with the win. Alex Amel finishing in second. Rob Casti comes across the line in third. This first heat, top 4 finishers will redraw for their starting spot tonight. Remember, they're all getting 25 show-up points. That's all the points that are on the line tonight. It's racing for pride and racing for a trophy here tonight at Shangri-La 2. The field pulls down into turn number 3. It's Dusty Snell picking up the pace. Gary Folk Jr. looking him over. Throws the green flag, albeit reluctantly. He likes to see him come across door handle to door handle in the start and restart zone.
Well, that certainly wasn't the worst we've seen, and if you're Jeff Goodwin, you like where you're at right now. Goodwin getting around Dusty over there in turn number 2. R.J. Zacharias right there knocking on the door of Dusty Snell. He goes low, and Snell goes high. Good battle for second. They're going to take it into turn number 1.
And Dusty Snell washes up the track. Here comes R.J. Zach by on the inside. He's setting his sights on the 05 of Jeff Goodwin. They head down into turn number 3. Goodwin with the lead, with Zach in second, Dusty Snell in third, Tim Gulo in fourth. I do believe this is Tim's first appearance here at Shangri-La 2.
Well, it's the first time I've seen that particular car, I have to admit, but we got 3 cars going at it for position toward the back of the pack. But up front, R.J. Zacharias has it down to about a car length going into turn number 3. He's going to hug the inside lane as Jeff Goodwin didn't drift up much. Good battle for the lead.
That battle continues down to turn number 1. Danielle Buchek gets by Chris Bennett as they go down towards turn 1. Over in turn number 2, Goodwin holding off RJ as they go down the backstretch. 2 car lengths separate the leaders as they head down to turn number 3. They'll see the cross flags. 4 laps down, 4 laps to go. This time we are halfway.
Well, as we've said, we've had some really competitive racing, qualifying and in our feature events. All a driver is waiting for is somebody to bobble just a tiny bit and open up that inside lane unless they're hooked up to run the outside. The gap widened to about 2 car lengths over there in turn number 3. RJ sizing up the deal. Once again, he's going to try and get around off 4.
He's down low. Goodwin up high. Let's see if they go down to turn number 1, and Goodwin slams the door. So they go into turn number 1. RJ Fender up alongside. Goodwin tries to pinch down, cannot hold him off. So they go down the backstretch. Wow, good job by those drivers. They were close.
Well, they're close in the battle for third as well, but up front, R.J. Zacharias supplying the chrome horn a little bit to Jeff Goodwin, and the battle for third is about to go the way of Tim Gulo. He's got the inside lane as RJ now takes his race car up to the top side.
RJ shifts lanes, heads down the backstretch. This is where his brother Chris does so well. RJ holds it as they go into the turn. Goodwin lifts, coming off the turn. Goodwin trying to put the power down. Here comes RJ Zacharias. He's got the lead on the white lap.
RJ, to the delight of many here in the crowd, and once out in front, he's been able to pull away just a bit. It's about 2 car lengths down the back straightaway on this final lap of our first of 3 for the street stocks tonight. Zacharias comes off turn number 4, and the checker flag will wave. RJ Zacharias, the winner. Jeff Goodwin will finish second. Tim Gulo third. Then it's Dusty Snell, Danielle Buchek, Chris Bennett, and the 31 of Mike Nichols.
The field getting ready to come to life under Chief Starter Gary Folk Jr.'s arm as the green flag not coming out. So we're going to look at it once again. Gene Sharpstein in the 34. His first time here at Shangri-La 2 as he picks up the pace again. Comes down into turn number 3 and 4. Now we've got the green flag. We are underway with the 14 of Jake Snell trying to give chase to the high side, but it's going to be the 34 of Gene Sharpstein, your early race leader. 3 wide off turn number 4 as they split the Brad Knapp cars. They go down towards turn number 1.
Well, he was definitely the meat in the sandwich and still sort of is. We also see some smoke coming from Billy Coyle's 94, while Gene Sharpstein is our race leader. Charlie Sharpstein tonight in the 6 7/8 takes over second spot. Right behind him, first time out in a street stock here at the track. That's Jimmy Zacharias. in car number 20. He is up to third, and Lee Sharpstein making a bid for fourth.
Lee Sharpstein on the back bumper. Jimmy Zach as they work off turn number 4. Lee keeps it right down low. Going to challenge for third as they hit the stripe. They go down towards turn number 1. Lee Sharpstein has the measure. Jimmy Zacharias takes third. Jimmy going to try to battle back on the high side in that Jody Buckley-owned ride. As they go down the backstretch once again, we had the Charlie Sharpstein challenging Gene Sharpstein for the lead, but Gene's going to hold on a little bit loose for Gene as he's trying to keep it down on the inside. He's going to hold on to that lead.
One of the more versatile drivers out there. You know, we see Tim Gullo as Billy Coyle, the smoke an issue in the car, but look at this three-way battle now for the lead. And they're all Sharpsteins. They're just not all brothers, but brother Lee and Gene loses the grip. And that is going to open up an opportunity for Charlie on the outside. Charlie, our new leader.
Charlie takes it by, but you got to give it to Gene. He's got that dirt track experience, and he kept that car going the right way. Battling with his cousin Lee as they go down the backstretch. Lee will take the measure as they go down to turn number 3. Lee now up into second. Car pushes up a little bit. Here comes Gene right back at him on the inside. Side by side for second with 5 laps down, 3 to go. Lee Sharpstein in second at the line.
Well, you can never rule him out. We mentioned he has taken over the point lead in our point racing in our weekly program. And a lot of people tired of looking at the back end of that machine. Good race for the third position as Jimmy Zacharias now is to the outside of Gene Sharpstein. Our leader's coming off turn number 4, getting the 2 to go indication. Charlie leading his younger brother Lee.
And Lee right on his back bumper working over in turn number 2. Now separates themselves by 2, now 3 car lengths as they head down towards turn 3. Charlie Sharpstein in the 6 and 7/8. Lee getting in the corner just a little bit better. Meanwhile, Jimmy Zacharias and Gene Sharpstein having a battle for third. White flag on the Speedway, and Charlie Sharpstein has the top spot.
Well, you know, Lee wants it. Charlie certainly does have it, but this is a guy, we're brothers, but we're racers first. So Lee's going to go for it on the outside. He's going to tuck back in behind Charlie Sharpstein. Off the corner they come. And Charlie, in the 6 and 7/8, will pick up the heat win. Lee will finish second. Gene Sharpstein, a very respectable third, first time out for him. And likewise for Jimmy Zacharias in car number 20 and fourth. And if car number 13 looks familiar, last year it was sporting a 61 on the side. I believe Mr. Nalepa sold it to the Dukes, and that is Jason Sr.
Yeah, green flag is out on the Speedway. That car was piloted for last season by Chris Zacharias, and they did run that up at the Oswego Speedway, part of the Richie Evans tribute. And they're nearly 3 wide as Bob Ripley's pinched to the outside, Chris Zacharias down low, and you've got the 11 car of Joe Snell showing the way in the second spot, but up front is Robert Fink in the 78.
Well, I can tell you that Chris Conrad is every which way but loose, and including loose. But he held on, saved his car, and it only lost 1 position in the process. May lose a second one now, but battle shaping up for the runner-up spot. Joe Snell to the inside as Chris Zacharias, who has done lap after lap after lap this year, proving there is an outside groove, is up to second.
And he's still running up top as he works over in turn number 1. And you got to tip your hat, though, to Chris Conrad. Again, another dirt convert to pavement racing, and it's that dirt experience that kept it going. But meanwhile, Chris Zacharias has Robert Fink's car number 78 in the crosshairs as they come off of turn number 4. 3 laps now complete. Fink is the leader. Chris Zacharias in second. Joe Snell in third. Ripley loose, but he's in fourth. And fifth right now is Jason Dukes Sr. He's loose over there in turn number 2.
Well, we got a lot of loose machines, and Chris Conrad was right there and capitalized on that and took over position number 5. But the gap between our leader at the halfway point and second place runner Chris Zacharias is shrinking. We did not say Chris is shrinking. The gap between Chris and our race leader Robert Fink is shrinking. You notice how much the two have put a gap between themselves and third place runner Joe Snell. This time by lap number 5 of 8 will go up on the board. Bob Ripley continues in the 4th position with Chris Conrad running in 5th. Nothing being seriously contested right now, but Gary Folk has the twin sticks in the air. It's 2 to go this time by Robert Fink, and the crew did a yeoman's job of all of the repair work that was needed on that machine. He came with both of his cars last Saturday night and left with a good bit of damage to both. With work and all, he just didn't think he'd have time to get them both repaired. But Robert did make it out with his main machine. And right now, picking up the white flag, Zacharias running in second still. Snell in third. Ripley fourth. Conrad running in fifth. Sixth is Jason Duke Sr. So our leader, Robert Fink, goes through turns 3 and 4 for the final time. Gary Folk will display the checkered flag. So that is 2 consecutive heat wins for Robert Fink, whose Saturday night went from good to bad in a hurry. Zacharias will finish second, third to Snell, fourth to Ripley, and fifth to Chris Conrad.
Well, usually officially the track record falls in qualifying, but we'll keep an eye on that thing as race laps click off. A&B timing and scoring, an excellent tool, but listen to this, folks. .900 horsepower 5 times across, down into turn 1 and out the turn 2 comes Jimmy McCune. Brian Olson up to second. JoJo Helberg back there ahead of Jerry Carrier now. And just like that, out in front, Jimmy McCune takes off, has about 3 lengths over Brian Olson. But Olson getting into 3 a little bit better. He's going to try to make a move off of 4. He's got that move made. He's a new leader. Brian Olson packing daylight between him and second place. It's just now JoJo Helberg. Helberg driving like he's got a plane to catch. Big wiggle for Helberg in 1. He still doesn't have it under control off of 2, but he's already down the backstretch and coming after. At this point, Brian Olson can hear JoJo Helberg, but cannot see him. These cars have very bad vision behind them. They do not have mirrors of any sort, but he can hear that big 900 horsepower monster motor of Helberg. Again, down into 1. Helberg a big wiggle again and loses some ground. Brian Olson coming down to the white flag this time by. Third place is still Jimmy McCune, Dave Baumgartner, excuse me, I'll get it right the third time by. Brian Olson in second. Jimmy McCune falls back to 4th, but here they come down to the white flag one more time around. Off of 4, the car number 40-1 out of Washington. This is Brian Olson. Brian Olson, the winner of your first heat. JoJo Helberg second, but he had the fast lap. What was it?
The fast lap, 15.045 seconds, 119.641 miles per hour.
Green flag. Out in front is the First Lady of Speed, Sonny Eden, but Jason Cox will have nothing to do with that. He's trying to take the lead away down the front stretch. Sonny Eden says, not so fast. Whoa, little wiggle, big wiggle, and Sonny Eden washes up the track a little bit, going through those bumps. Backs it out, and Jason Cox is going to get away, but Aaron Pierce now in third. Eden having a little bit of trouble right by the number 2 over there. You'll see the car wash up just a little bit as she comes out of that corner. But Jason Cox is ripping off some laps, folks. Aaron Pierce now having trouble over there in turn 2. That could be the problem spot as we get ready for the 30-lap feature coming up in just a few minutes. And there goes the arm guard off the 40 car. It's laying right out here in front of God and everybody. That is actually the air cleaner. That is the air box, the air cleaner box off the front.
As these guys are coming up to speed, is putting this methanol in the fuel tanks of these cars. These guys put in a certain amount because they calculate how much fuel they're going to burn in their heat so they can keep these cars as light as possible.
Absolutely. They figure these cars on about a 2 to 3 gallon lay in the bottom of the tank because that's what they figure they're hopefully going to have left in the race car at the end of the night. Jason Cox, Sonny Eden, Aaron Pierce, and Jeff Bloom. Well, that airbox cover coming off the car apparently not going to affect Jason Cox. He's back out into the night, but now Aaron Pierce has moved up to second. We'll keep an eye on the lap times here as AP in the runner-up spot. Again, Jason Cox so smooth going down into turn 1. Off of turn 4 and down to the checkered flag out of Park City, Illinois. The DJ Racing entry of Jason Cox. Aaron Pierce second, then Sonny Eden. Run takes up fourth. Jeff Bloom crosses the line third, and 4 cars, 8 laps. And we're going to keep an eye on the times and just see what's going to happen in heat race number 3. Well, that's what's going to happen. Hurricane Hank Lauer says, enough of this. I'm going to get out here and go. Hank Lauer out of Angola. Takes off. Jacob Wilson slides up the track. Mike Larison dives underneath. Larison beats Jacob Wilson into turn 3. Hank Lauer now going to be slowly but surely going to start hearing that 50-1 car of Mike Larison start to catch him as we're halfway home. Hank Lauer leading this race, who is soundly confirms that he had his best year of racing in 1986.
He's been around a day or two.
He has. Matter of fact, friend Dave Argerbright at the banquet last year said when he retires, he wants to go watch Hank Lauer race.
Some of these guys, they just never give it up.
Jim Cox struggling with the handle on that number 4 car. White flag out now for the veteran out of Angola, Indiana, 75-year-old Hurricane Hank Lauer. And fans, if you see a 37 come up behind you in the left lane, get out of the way, because it's Hurricane Hank Lauer off to the heat race win. And he waves to the crowd going by the start-finish line.
Gary Folk Jr. watches him come through turn number 4, and the green is out. Certainly the cars at the front of the field were ready to roll, and John Wilbur is going to lead the way off turn number 1 and 2, and down the back straightaway, Zach Curran running in second spot.
Well, Jimmy Zacharias had designs on making it 3 wide going into turn number 3, wisely backed on out of it. Wilbur with the lead. 2 wide here at the stripe, and Tony Hanbury thought about making it 3 wide. So again, everybody looking for a little piece of the racing room as they work off turn 2. Wilbur with the lead, Kern in second, Zacharias in third.
Well, Zacharias and Hanbury both were able to get underneath Tyler Ripkema, who got out in the outer groove, opened up their preferred lane for both of those drivers, and they took over spots 3 and 4. Jimmy Zacharias inching closer to Zach Curran down the back straightaway. It's a half a car length separating the pair in the turns 3 and 4. Zacharias to the low side. He's going to give it a go, and at the stripe has second spot. Zach Curran goes back to third.
Zacharias and Curran continue that battle over in turn number 2. Now Jimmy Zach takes the measure of Curran, gets by, heads now down towards John Wilbur, who's out front in the 4 car. They work off turn number 4. Wilbur by 4 car lengths. Zacharias in second, Curran in third, and he's got to fend off Tony Hanbury, who's on his back bumper.
Well, Tony's looking at the line Zach Curran has chosen, but we're back to the battle of the chrome and the gold, the silver and the gold that we've seen here so many times. John Wilbur and Jimmy Zacharias, 2 beautiful machines, 2 very talented drivers. And Jimmy takes a look downstairs, but Wilbur's going to slam the door on him. It was a close slam, but he slammed it nonetheless in 1.
They work off turn number 2. Wilbur's still at the top spot. He's tired of looking at the back nameplate of the Zacharias and Hanbury car. He wants to stay out front, but Jimmy Zach keeps it down low. He's got a wheel up alongside as they go into turn 1.
Well, once again, Jimmy not able to seal the deal as John Wilbur has been able to hang on to the race lead. Next time by, they'll get the 2 to go indication as the 1. And so it's all going to boil down to a half mile of racing, and Jimmy with his best shot this time by.
Jimmy Zacharias keeps it low in turn number 1. Over in number 2, they're wheel to wheel coming off the turn. Jimmy Zacharias with the advantage as they go down to turn number 3. Wilbur going to try to stick with him. No go. Jimmy Zach pulls up in front, takes away the preferred lane, and contact up in turn number 3. Brings out the checkered flag, but contact in turn number 3 between Tony Hanbury and Zach Curran sends Curran around. Zach able to refire the car. Long, slow slide for Zach Curran. Doesn't look like he really got into the wall. I can't see any marks there. Maybe one small mark. So the field lined up, ready to go. The Corvette Callaway pace car pulling away from these vintage modifieds. Again, modifieds from the 60s, 70s, and 80s out here represented tonight. As Corvette Callaway pace car pulls very slowly down onto pit road. Your front row is being held by Alex Amell and Rob Casti as they get set to go racing off of turn number 4. Chief starter Gary Folk Jr. looking the field over, has the green flag in hand, and we are racing back in the days of yore as they go down towards turn number 1 with Rob Casti taking a look to the high side of the speedway, has the measure of Alex Amell as they go over in turn number 2. Casti with the lead on the brake as they go down the backstretch heading into turn number 3.
Well, the advantage is about 2 car lengths as they go through the corners for the first time. Inching up closer in the 3rd spot is Roy Preston in car number 17, and our heat winner, Bill Fitzsimmons, right there in position number 4, 1 lap complete.
They have 4-car breakaway at the front of the field, all modifieds as they go down the backstretch heading into turn number 3. Fitzsimmons there in the 4th spot, looking for some racing room around the 17 of Ray Preston. They come down to complete lap number 2 of 15, and it is Rob Casti with the lead. He's pulling away slightly from Alex Amell.
And a position swap as Bill Fitzsimmons found that low groove up there in turn number 1 and was able to scoot on underneath the 17. Now he's got the big reeling job of reeling in our 2nd place car. That is the 2X of Alex Amell. Recall in our qualifying tonight, it was Fitzsimmons and our race leader dueling it out right until the very end.
Well, Rob Casti showing his cards early as here comes Fitzsimmons down low. Had a run on Amell, but could not make it happen as they came down in turn number 3. Meanwhile, they're closing in on Rob Casti. Did he get the good off the tires already and heat that motor up?
Well, Bill Fitzsimmons is a man on a mission, and we have a car slowing. That is the 17 of Preston, and looks like he's going to be a retiree from this one. But look at Bill Fitzsimmons Remember him in the Legends division at the old Shangri-La. This man hasn't forgotten what it feels like to win a race, and he's going to come off turn number 4 as our new race leader. Fitzsimmons takes it into turn number 1 as he begins to put some distance between himself and Casty in second. He's going to have to do some defensive driving as the Alex Hamill machine is right there in third.
And Bob Ripley up in fourth with that Jeff Bodine Valiant replica machine working off in turn number 4, racing there all by himself, followed by the 21 of Phil Barkins, that's modified out of Dover, Delaware. But meanwhile, back up front, Emil not able to cut into Casty's second place position that much. Casty 3 car lengths out in front of Emil as they work off of turn number 4, but it's Fitzsimmons with the lead here on lap number 7. Bill Fitzsimmons out front. Rob Casty in the second spot, Alex Emil in third. Bob Ripley there in the 4th spot. In 5th, it is Phil Barkins. Battle for 6th out on the Speedway right now, and that is between Gordy Wood in the 96 in the 33L of Rob Whipple. Gordy Wood, a limited sportsman, Rob Whipple, a sportsman. They continue their battle right in front of the leader. Your leader, Fitzsimmons, splits the difference off of turn number 2 as Wood slides up high. Whipple stays down low, and Fitzsimmons gets by, really stretching out his advantage now. Nearly half a straightaway lead for Bill Fitzsimmons. Lap number 9 in the books for Fitzsimmons. Casty still in second, Emil in third, Ripley in the 4th spot. Running in 5th still is the 21 of Barkins. They continue that down into turn number 3. But up front, it is all Bill Fitzsimmons. 10 laps down, 5 laps to go for Bill Fitzsimmons. Rob Casty still there in the 2nd spot, but boy, has he got a rear bumper full of Alex Emil. Emil sets the car, goes low down the backstretch, going down to the inside in turn number 3, but Casty going to still hold that position, holding his line, forcing Emil to lift. Now Emil down low again as those two drivers, they may have touched wheels just a little bit, but they go down to turn number 1, continuing that battle side by side for second. That's allowing Bill Fitzsimmons just to pull away to a full straightaway advantage. And whoa, motor goes south on the 71 of Rob Casty, just as he was tied up in that battle with the the 2X of Alex Emil, and caution out on the Speedway. So it's Fitzsimmons and Emil in your front row. Second row is Ripley and Barkins. And all by himself in run number 3 is Wood as we come off the corner. And the green flag flies. We're underway once again. And right away, Bill Fitzsimmons retakes that top spot. Alex Emil there in the 2nd spot with Bob Ripley in 3rd. They work it off turn number 2 down the backstretch. Bill working down into turn number 3. Fitzsimmons trying to get that rhythm back that he had just before the caution came out. Stretching out his advantage now, 10 car lengths for Bill Fitzsimmons. So he goes down towards turn number 1. Bob Ripley putting the challenges to Alex Emil. That is Ripley in that 99 Jeff Bodine replica Valiant down into turn number 3. Ripley right out in the back bumper of Emil as they come off of turn number 4. Emil out of Watertown with that 2X sedan body car as they go down into turn number 1. Working off the turn. Ripley has caught him, but getting by him's a whole nother thing as they go down to turn number 3. White flag will be displayed this time to Bill Fitzsimmons. Fitzsimmons out of Spencerport has Ripley side by side with Emil for the 2nd spot. Emil battling back on the high side. Ripley staying right with him off in turn number 2. The battle is out there on the backstretch as they head down towards turn number 3. Final time into the turn. Ripley sits it down in the groove, sticks it down on the bottom. The winner is Fitzsimmons. The first second will be the 99 of Ripley. Wow, close at the end. Bob Ripley picking up second. Finishing third, Alex Emil. Finishing 4th, Phil Barkins. And finishing in the 5th spot, Gordy Wood. But Bill Fitzsimmons down there takes that car number 3X down. And it's a very familiar paint scheme to those who watch Legends Racing at the old Shangri-La. He always had that cloverleaf on there, and it was always a good shoe. But Bill Fitzsimmons picking up the win here, the very first for the Vintage Modifieds at Shangri-La 2. Carol Husak. We'll have a word with him in just a moment.
Well, I'm very much looking forward to this interview because it was 7 years since he last raced. And when he got here tonight, said he was nervous. He was concerned about a couple other guys. Made the haul. His wife isn't here again. She's at a training thing for the whole month of July. I think we need to keep Jill home. But we're going to have 3 trophies presented. We also need the 33L of Rob Whipple. He's climbing out of the car. Your winner, Bill Fitzsimmons! Huh?
Hi, honey.
I told you I'd see you later. Here, we got something for you back here. I was just telling the crowd, it's been 7 years since you raced, and your win, your first win at the old Shangri-la was one of those memorable moments for me. And I told you your wife wasn't there. I said, you got to come back next week and do it again, and you did. Congratulations, Bill.
Thanks, Carol.
Come on, you got to have more to say than that. Really, you had the class of the field here tonight.
All right. First of all, my crew chief, Dick Barrett, his mother is gravely ill, and I want to dedicate this race to her. She's probably not going to make it through the end of July, and he's just done a great job. It's his trailer, it's his truck, and he's been great support, and given what he's going through, the fact that he's even be here is just unbelievable. I really appreciate it, and this wins for her.
Bill, I've watched the progress in this car. You've been emailing me pictures as you've been working on it. Truly a labor of love.
Yeah, it's been 5 years. I got a little help from Ricky Kluth in the front clip and a little bit on the roll bar, but I pretty much did it all myself. 5 years. So this feels good.
I'll bet it does. You need to get Jill on the phone.
She's in Massachusetts, so I'm not sure if I can reach her or not. We'll give it a try later.
Okay. I think the crowd appreciated it. We're going to hear it right now for Bill Fitzsimmons. Woo! And we're going to come over here to the 96 of Gordy Wood. Gordy, our highest in the limited Sportsman. A little bit of history about your career.
Yeah, I got a lot of history. Some of it's not good, but I started in 1957. I've been 54 or 5 years at this stuff. And
you know, you youngsters out here are really putting some manners on these young kids.
well, the car and I are the same age. We're 76 years old. We can still go around and have fun now.
So at your age to go home with a trophy, you know this is a 4-race series, so you got 3 more to run.
Really?
Yeah, or you can go tomorrow night up to Spencer Speedway.
Oh yeah, we're going up there tomorrow.
Okay. Wake up tomorrow, think Williamson, New York. First in the limited Sportsman, Gordy Wood. And
I was the only one here, though.
you were the only one here. It doesn't matter, Rob. The 33, don't take his picture. Or are you going to break the camera?
No.
So what's the deal? When you pulled in tonight, we weren't really sure what that car was.
We weren't really geared for here, and I really wanted to run this place. I've been wanting to be here for 4 years. So we were turning a lot of RPMs, and I heard something on the right bank of the motor, but we'll be at Spencer tomorrow.
Well, that's great, and I guess the series finishes up next week. You go home with some hard work. Congratulations in the Sportsman division. Rob Whipple. Are we ready for street stocks?
So the Corvette Callaway pace car is set to pull down inside of turn number 4. And your front row, Charlie Sharpstein and Dusty Snell. Why, this could be a wild beginning to this one. Got some pretty good cars with some cars that haven't really run here this year, all up at the front of this blind draw tonight. As they come down into turn number 3, off of turn number 4, Chief Starter Gary Folk Jr. looks the field over. We are racing with the Street Stocks here at Shangri-La 2. They head down towards turn number 1, and right out the get-go, Charlie Sharpstein takes that top spot, bringing Gene Sharpstein right along with him. Lee Sharpstein in third. R.J. Zacharias in the 4 spot as they head down into turn number 3. Bunching them up over there in the turn is the car number 11 of Joe Snell. A little contact over there in turn number 4. One car is around. The 20 of Jimmy Zacharias and Chris Zacharias got together, but we had a car spin up there in turn number 1. That looks to be the 59 of Chris Bennett. Corvette Callaway pace car getting set to pull in once again as we're set to go back to green flag racing action here with the Street Stocks at Shangri-La 2 Motor Speedway Extreme Racing Night as the green flag. It waves once again from Chief Starter Gary Folk Jr. Gene Sharpstein challenging Charlie as they go down into turn number 1. Gene Sharpstein up on the high side. Charlie Sharpstein down low with Lee Sharpstein in turn number 3, 3 wide, going up in turn number 2 as Dusty Snell, your outside pole sitter, started to drop back through the field. But up in front right now, Charlie Sharpstein leading a hard-charging Lee Sharpstein as they come to the line. Charlie is your leader, Lee in second. Side-by-side battle for third now with R.J. Zacharias and Gene Sharpstein. Tim Gulo sits there in the 5th spot, side-by-side for 6th. There's Joe Snell in the 11, and Jimmy Zacharias working his way up through the field. He's outside of Joe Snell looking for that spot as they come over into turn number 4.
Lead, but Brother Lee is right there, rubbing on his bumper with R.J. Zacharias running in 3rd position. Gene Sharpstein is in 4th, so right now, R.J. the spoiler in that Sharpstein domination up front here as they come around to put lap number 4 up on the scoreboard.
Battle continuing up front down the backstretch heading into turn number 3. Lee Sharpstein within a car length of his brother as they go over in turn number 4. That's Charlie with the top spot. Lee in second. Lee all over the back bumper of his brother Charlie. He's on him like a rash over in turn number 2. They work through the turns, but by them battling, here comes R.J. Zacharias. R.J. going to be up in the blend in just a minute. New leader down in turn number 3 possibly. Let's see if Charlie's strong enough on the high side. Lee sets the car right down on the inside. Coming off the turn, Lee Sharpstein will take the lead here on lap number 6.
Well, Lee makes the clean inside pass on brother Charlie with R.J. Zacharias watching from 3rd. But on the top side, it's Charlie Sharpstein fighting back. They're going to go side by side into turn number 3. The brother Sharpstein battling it out. Charlie on the outside with brother Lee in that preferred inner group for him anyway. And Lee prevails.
I'm not exactly sure which car that is sitting down there. It looks like the 7 of Chris Zacharias. I really didn't see what happened to Chris as I was watching the 23 of Dusty Snell and the 14 of Jake Snell, both going low and slow down the backstretch. So I don't know if Chris washed up just coming out of the turn, or I don't know if there was any contact. But word from trackside officials is that Chris got up in the wall all on his own. As the green flag flies, we're racing once again, and it is the 8 of Lee Sharpstein showing the way down into turn number 1. He's got brother Charlie working on the high side. Charlie Sharpstein in the 6 and 7/8 car pulls up alongside. It's the 8 of the Bumblebee taking it down into turn number 3, but it's the 8 of Lee Sharpstein going to pull away from Charlie. Charlie now has some company on the back bumper. R.J. Zacharias right there, and Jimmy Zacharias gets around Gene Sharpstein. He's got that Buckley Automotive car number 20 up to the 4th spot. Gene Sharpstein there in 5th, Tim Gulo in 6th. Tim Gulo, a former pavement racer in the Sportsman division, racing in the street stocks here tonight, working off turn number 4, doing a good job. He's got Jeff Goodwin on his back bumper, and Billy Coyle right there in the 94. Side-by-side battle further back in the field. That is the 78 of Robert Fink and the 11 of Joe Snell. That is the battle for 9th out there on the Speedway. Fink will take 9th, sending Snell back to 10th. We're going to be halfway this time.
And our field reaching the halfway point. Lap number 10 going up on the scoreboard. Another driver we're keeping our eyes on is the 20 of Jimmy Zacharias. First time he's driven with fenders on a machine in quite some time. He's driving for Jody Buckley Racing, and right behind him it's Gene Sharpstein. But he's got a little bit of distance separating himself from the third place car as they come off turn number 4, lap number 11 of 20 up on the board.
Right now, Lee Sharpstein pulling away from Charlie. Has a pretty good advantage right now of 0.6 of a second as he works down on turn number 3. R.J. Zacharias right there with him. There's a nose-to-tail battle for second developing, but here comes a side-by-side battle for fourth as Gene Sharpstein challenging Jimmy Zacharias down in turn number 1. That's a battle out in the Speedway for the 4th spot. There was a battle for 6th, then Jeff Goodwin just took care of that as he bypassed Billy Coyle. Goodwin on the march now with that 05 machine. Whoa, and Gene Sharpstein problems on the 34 car as he pushed right up the Speedway. Looks like a tire down on the car number 34. More than likely a right front flat tire on the 34 of Gene Sharpstein. Again, that car just pushing right up the Speedway. Here we go with 7 laps to go. Starter has the green flag. We are underway with the 8 of Lee Sharpstein taking it down to turn number 1. Charlie tries to stay with him in the Bumblebee, but Bumblebee getting a little help from Jimmy Zach from behind. Gives him a little push. Here he comes down the backstretch. Side-by-side battle for third with the Zacharias'. RJ on the inside, Jimmy up on the high side. Jeff Goodwin back there battling side-by-side with Billy Coyle. And we are going to have 14 down, just 6 laps to go.
Well, the street stocks have certainly provided us with some great moments here during the 2012 season. We promised you a great race. Our head starter, Gary Folk Jr., giving him the high five. There's 5 laps remaining, and it may be a Sharpstein, it may be a Zacharias, as Jimmy right there in the 4th position. Charlie tucks back in front of R.J. Zacharias as they go down the back straightaway. Lee Sharpstein with about the best advantage she's had all night in these final laps.
Just 4 laps to go, and Lee Sharpstein looking for his 5th win of the season here at the Speedway. Already opens up 0.8 of a second advantage over Charlie, and we've got a parking lot developing over in turn number 1. Danielle Buchek getting down in there with Gene Sharpstein, the 26 of Brad Knapp, the 59 of Chris Bennett, and the 31 of Mike Nichols. All those cars getting together over there in turn number 1, and Danielle has it nose down into turn number 1. So again,
well, once again, the Callaway Corvette pulls into the infield, and we're back to racing the final 4 laps of this one. The brother Sharpstein going to turn number 1, Lee on the low side, and Charlie on the top side. R.J. Zacharias wanted to be the spoiler in that family event, as he is being challenged on the outside by his nephew Jimmy Zacharias in car number 20. They are side by side through the corners. It'll be 3 to go this time by.
Side-by-side battle for third as they go down the backstretch. R.J. Zacharias down low. Jimmy Zacharias up high. That is the battle. Jeff Goodwin getting in there as well. Now a 3-car dance for third as they work off turn number 4. Meanwhile, Lee Sharpstein leaving him in the dust as he goes down into turn number 1. Already 0.7 of a second advantage over brother Charlie. Now R.J. has separated himself from that battle for third. Now locked in the battle for fourth is Jeff Goodwin and Jimmy Zacharias. Jeff Goodwin has to measure Zacharias down in turn number 3. White flag being displayed to Lee Sharpstein. 4 feature wins already this season as we've got side-by-side battles developing here on this final lap. They work down into turn number 3. Off turn number 2. It's Billy Coyle now side-by-side with Jimmy Zacharias as Jeff Goodwin has pulled away. Coming to the checkered flag, it is 2-time and defending track champion Lee Sharpstein, his 5th win of the season. Charlie Sharpstein finishing in 2nd. R.J. Zacharias finishing in 3rd. Finishing in 4th is the 05 of Jeff Goodwin. Finishing in the 5th spot, Billy Coyle into 94. Jimmy Zacharias coming across the line in 6th. Robert Fink 7th. Joe Snell 8th. Tim Gulo 9th. Bob Ripley in 10th. Jason Duke Sr. in the 11th spot. Chris Conrad in 12th. Brad Knapp 13th. Gene Sharpstein 14th. Chris Bennett finished 15th. Mike Nichols finished 16th.
And he's climbing out of the car. We can hear you, folks. Lee Sharpstein. High fives to the McDonald Racing crew. Man, you got a fast little race car there, Lee. We talk about this every week. Doesn't really matter where you start. You just, one by one, you're methodical.
Yeah, we've been being real patient and buying our time, and it's been working for us. And can't do it again without my sponsors: B&G Apartments, Mike McDonald Contracting, Maley's in the Yard, Harry's Automotive. He's the best, you know. TMT Rock Quarry, Steve Angelonis Trucking, Pine City Tool Chuck up in the stands every week rooting us on. Can't thank him enough. PC Solutions, my mom and dad, Mike McDonald, of course, all these guys for busting hump all week, and my girlfriend Danielle.
Lee, how was it racing the 6 and 7/8 knowing it was a different brother in there?
Yeah, he was really wheeling her. He was a little tight there in the center. That's how I slipped up under him, and if he wouldn't have been pushing, he would have been pretty tough.
He was tough anyway. We were wondering, what if he wants to stay in that car next week?
I'll have to talk him out of it.
You'll have to talk about it. Your title defense, now tonight it's about the trophy, the checkered flag, the bragging rights, but your title defense, you're right, kind of right on target.
Yeah, we got it all going on right now. We got the checkered flag, the trophy, the girl, and hopefully everybody in the stands. Thanks again for coming out on a Thursday night. This is for you guys.
And this is for you, your winner, Lee Sharpstein.
Thank you so much for coming out tonight and supporting Shangri-la 2 Speedway, supporting the True Fuel Must See Racing Extreme Sprint Series, and supporting the local economy, because I know not all of you folks are going straight home. People are going to hang out in town and spend a little money here. That's what makes local short track racing cool, is when everybody gets involved and helps out. Thank you so much.
Well, we're certainly hoping that everybody here follows this series right up to the Big O for this weekend's King of the Wings.
And down into one goes McCune. Mike Larison picks up second. Cars bobble in the back of the pack. Looks like Jeff Bloom bobbles. JoJo Helberg already cutting up through the field. Watch the black 7 in turn 3. Larison, big wiggle as he tried to make a move. Now the 40-1 car makes a move under Dave Bumgardner down the backstretch. The 5 car of Troy DeCare apparently slows down. Might have had contact with the 2 of Larry Austin, and the 5 car of Troy DeCare off the pace. Austin started to pick it back up a little bit. He wiggles the front end. Might have had contact. Out in front, the car number 88. He finished second 2 nights ago at Auto City Speedway. Looking to take the win home tonight. But look at the 26 of Aaron Pierce. Aaron Pierce trying to put the blinker on and get underneath the 51 of Mike Larison. Larison holding him off down the backstretch. Here comes Jacob Wilson in the 07. The battle right now for 6th. Here comes JoJo Helberg around Brian Olson. The 7 car goes to position 6.
Well, Scott, it's also really interesting to see how these cars go as the race goes on. Right now, Jimmy McCune doing a great job, but it looks like Mike Larson kind of close in.
Absolutely. The race up front, McCune has a little bit of a lead, but now Larison's closing up, and he's pulling away from the 26 of Aaron Pierce. But right now also, the 7 car of JoJo Helberg, he slipped away from Brian Olson. Now, again, starts to open up a little bit of a gap, but he is trying to make his move forward. He changed some tires. You got to wonder if there's going to be time for that 7 car to move on up.
One of the cars on the move, though, is Jason Cox in the yellow number 40. Turning some pretty impressive times right now. He's picking them up, putting them down, and here's closing in on the 07 of Jacob Wilson as they run down into turn number 4.
I think it's going to be a dynamite show here right now. Still getting early laps. We're about 10 laps in at this point, I believe. Looks like 9 laps on the board. And now you're going to start to see lap cars. Jimmy McCune going to have to circumnavigate the 75 car of Jerry Carrier. Mike Larison now running second. Mike Larison crashed out a second a couple nights ago. Not going to let that happen again, but he's got a challenge from Aaron Pierce. Top 5 under a blanket.
Top 5 under a blanket. Lap car definitely going to come into play. That is that 75 of Jerry Carrier as he's working around the low side of Speedway, letting the others go around up high. This causing a parking lot in turn 2.
Mike Larison is losing the handle. Look at him drop second, third, fourth, and fifth. He's throwing the positions out the window, trying to figure out what's wrong with that car. He could have an issue on that 51 car, but now it's Aaron Pierce in second. And look, there goes Jacob Wilson in third, challenged by Jason Cox down the backstretch. JoJo Helberg's got fifth.
And JoJo Helberg on the move, but Jason Cox working the high side around Jacob Wilson off of turn number 4. Has to fall in line as they go down towards turn number 1.
Aaron Pierce is starting to rumble the seat of Jimmy McCune. Here he comes. He's going to start to close up the battle for third and fourth. Jason Cox is going to try to make a move on that green 07 car. But right now the battle at the front of the field, Tom.
And we thought about it before.
Jason Cox trying to make a move on the outside. He goes high off of 2. Almost lost it trying to get around Wilson.
Broke traction, getting just up out of the group, but down the inside, challenge for the lead. Here comes the 26 of Pierce. Can't get it done.
Look at them go, folks, faster than they've ever gone around the Speedway. We could go 30 green tonight.
Well, that's what we hoped for, but we get down to here, more lap traffic coming into play. This could play right into Aaron Pierce's hand, but no, McCune does not use the lap car for a pick, and that could be a problem.
Got by him too fast. McCune absolutely flew by, and you see the 4 car of Tim Cox pull down. The veteran says, that's it for me, boys. I want to get out of the way. A great race up top, still the front 5 under the blanket at the south end of the Speedway.
And we've had a whole breakaway. Top 5 have broken away from 6th place.
Look at him go in the bottom of 1. Pierce, inside, outside. Holy cow, how did they get through there like that?
These cars are sticking, there's no doubt about it, but here they come again off turn number 4. Pierce down, and Pierce got him that time.
New leader, but not done yet. Jimmy goes down to the bottom, tries to get back under him, cannot get it done. Aaron Pierce now out in front.
And look at Pierce boot scoot away from McCune.
Closing in on 10 laps to go now. Jimmy McCune might have worn the goodie off those tires now as he starts to slip back to the 07 of Jacob Wilson.
Aaron Pierce just drives right past Sandy Lund as they go over in turn number 3 and 4.
Sandy's a good racer, going to get up out of the way, down into 1. Now there they go. Top 5 still battling. What's the interval between first and second, Tom?
Well, right now the interval is 0.7 of a second, so it's widening up pretty significantly for Aaron Pierce.
Pierce not exactly slipping away, a little bit at a time maybe, but right now the battle second, third, fourth, and fifth. Anybody bobbles and they're going backwards.
Well, Jacob Wilson has closed his gap down to less than 0.4 of a second on the 88 of Jimmy McCune, so I think Wilson is closing ever so slightly, but he may run out of laps. There's only 8 to go.
Wilson had a podium 2 nights ago in Michigan, so did Jimmy McCune. They finished second and third, but it was a different car that led the way. Aaron Pierce decided he's going to spoil the party. He says, well, you guys battle it out for second and third. I want to take home the big check.
Aaron Pierce is definitely stretching it out now, nearly a full straightaway advantage over the 88 of Jimmy McCune. They go down to turn number 3. The 07 of Wilson right there in third.
Pierce now definitely starting to have his way, well over a second lead as he goes around Jerry Carrier a second time. Carrier's car pushes up, did not ever seem to get the handle tonight here at Shangri-La.
And Jason Cox has lost the handle on that yellow number 40 car. He's washing up big time in both ends of the Speedway.
And JoJo Helberg there right behind him. I don't think JoJo has much for him because he came all the way from 11th trying to make the move to get up there. He might have worn those tires out in the first couple of laps.
Again, tough night on these cars. They've never been here before, and they don't really know what this track and how this track is going to change. As we got 5 laps to go, now 4 as they go down into turn number 1. Your leader is really stretching out the advantage. 2.2 seconds in the advantage for Aaron Pierce. Mick Kuhn still in second, trying to fend off Jacob Wilson. They work off of turn number 4 this time. The battle on the Speedway right now is the battle for 4th. Jason Cox has it. Jojo Hellberg wants it. Cox in the 40. Hellberg in the car number 7 as they go down into turn number 3. Meanwhile, Aaron Pierce is on cruise control, turning lap speeds at an average of 113 miles per hour. Pierce now closing in on one of the slower cars over in turn number 3. Not going to really have any effect on he and that battle for second with Jimmy McHugh. Checking back with that battle between Cox and Hellberg, it's really heated up. Cox still has 4th, Hellberg in 5th. Hellberg bobbles in turn number 2, loses some distance to Cox as they go down the backstretch into turn number 3. That battle is still out there on the Speedway for the 4th spot. Checker flag is flown as we've got one car that goes up at the very end, dragging the bottom all along the Speedway. But congratulations, Aaron Pierce picking up the win here at Shangri-La 2 Motor Speedway.
Ladies and gentlemen, he's out of Daleville, Indiana, the Sam Pierce Chevrolet car. This is Aaron Pierce. How about a round of applause for your runner-up, the 88 out of Toledo, Ohio, the Bulldog, Jimmy McHugh. And finished in 3rd for the 2nd night in a row out of Crawfordsville, Indiana. The 07 car of Jacob Wilson.
Good job, dude.
AP, welcome to Victory Lane here at Shangri-La. A dynamite ending. Tell us about it.
I just had an awesome race car between all 3 of us, me and Larry and Evan. We had it rolling there. The thing was so fast, man. You could run down on a flat, and it's just awesome. The bad luck we had, this kind of erases it all for me.
A lot of people don't know you. You got a hurt finger. How bad did your finger bother you? And explain what was going on.
Well, I had my wedding ring on, and my fingers shorted out on a 12-volt battery pretty much, and burned my finger pretty bad all the way around. And it's really sore. I took a couple of leaves there right before the race, and hell, that could have been part of it.
Checkered flag make it feel a little better?
Oh yeah, I'd like to go and win them all. I know you can't do that, and we try our hearts out to do this, and it feels good.
All right, there's your winner, Aaron Pierce out of Daleville, Indiana. Get in there, get your pictures taken care of. Real quick over here, 2nd place, Jimmy McHugh. Jimmy, you started out front. You had a good run. Explain how the car went.
Be honest with you, I had no idea it was going to be like, I don't know. We threw the kitchen sink at it right before the feature, scaled it, springs, ride heights, wing angles. I don't think there was a screw on there that we didn't turn, so I'm just real proud of everybody. Don and Sue Ellen for giving me a great race car. We keep getting closer. We just wait too long every night. These guys worked their tails off. Two nights in a row we run second, so not disappointed by any means. I'm real happy with the outcome tonight.
You had Aaron Pierce in your sights. You had a good run with him, but you held him off. Did you have anything? I mean, you tried to get back under him. Explain that move down 1. It just looked like the car didn't hold.
Yeah, we were tight all night. I don't know what was going on. We were just a little bit tight. After he got around me, I moved down and realized that the car was a lot freer there. And I could actually, once he got out on me, I could keep pace with him and actually started to pull back up on traffic. So I was happy. Second.
There you go. 2nd place finisher, Jimmy McHugh. Real quick here, we'll talk to the 3rd place finisher, the ladies' man, 07 car, Jacob Wilson. Don't fool me like that. You don't got it. Jacob, you had a good run, too. Looked like you were pulling up on the leaders, and then you were Jason Cox. You were in traffic all night here.
Oh, yeah, this is a heck of a place to race. I had a great time, especially in front of a packed house like this. It was awesome. Thanks for coming out, everybody. Next time, we got a little better car than where we finished, I think. We'll try to get a little better. Just couldn't get clean air, and Jimmy's awful tough to pass when you're in dirty air. So next time, hopefully we can give Aaron a run for his money, and we'll go from there.
A lot of people don't know your brother's up in Alaska right now, mining gold. Is 2 third-place finishes, is that enough to bring him back home, or do you sit and leave him up there?
We're going to leave him up there. We need racing money. I think everybody can relate to that right now.
All right, third-place finisher, Jacob Wilson. Folks, did you like the show? Thank you so much for coming out. And be sure to keep supporting the Speedway here. We really appreciate it, folks. Have a good night. We got some more racing to do.
We just saw Zach Curran drop to tail on the field. Got to wonder, was there something mechanical happen to that car on the spin on the last lap during the heat race? We'll have to find out. Meanwhile, the cars are lined up 2 by 2 behind the Corvette Callaway pace car. Pace car pulls off. Here we go, down into turn number 4. Chief starter Gary Folk Jr. looks him over, and no start. 20 laps to distance here for the Sportsman. Closeout. An extreme night of racing here at Shangri-La 2 Motor Speedway. They pick it up. They remain side by side, wheel to wheel. Green flag is out as they drag race down into turn number 1. Jimmy Zacharias down low. John Wilbur up high. They remain side by side. Over in turn number 2, side by side coming off the turn. Now with Jimmy Zach. A slight advantage going down into turn number 3. Jimmy takes the lead over in turn number 4. Meanwhile, 3-car dance back there in for third place. The 14 of Mike Nichols getting challenged now by Tyler Ripkema and Tony Hanberry as they work on the back bumper of Mike Nichols. Up front, Wilbur not letting go of Zacharias in turn 3.
Fully stand right with them, separated by a car length at most as they come off turn number 4 and into turn number 1. But this battle for the third spot, Tyler Ripkema and Tony Hanberry, they're going to keep it gentle. Tony's saying they opted to start at the rear tonight, really wanting to stay out of the trouble, and they've got their own little battle going. He'll pull up alongside Tyler Ripkema in the battle for third and fourth spot at the stripe. Tony Hanberry up to third.
Well, John Wilbur's where he's been 5 other times this year. He's in second. And I talked to John last Saturday night, and he's really tired of being there. He's a better driver than that. He knows he's a better driver than that, and he's just trying so hard to get that win. I think once he gets that win, it's really going to knock that monkey off his back, and he'll be threat for more. But right now, he's dropping time now to Jimmy Zacharias as Jimmy Zach has stretched out the advantage to roughly 0.4 of a second.
Well, you mentioned finishing in second, and we started to call him the bridesmaid over at Chemung a few years ago because I think over the course of 2 seasons, he had 15 runner-up finishes before number 4 pulled in and did get the victory. And you're right, once you knock that monkey off your back, the other wins came a little bit easier for him. What's not getting easier is watching Jimmy kind of fading off and padding his lead over John Wilbur.
Well, everybody running very comfortably right now, kind of all running by themselves. And again, for want of a better term, a very heavy-duty test session here tonight for the Sportsmen as they go down this time, completing lap number 7. Jimmy Zacharias now with a 1.2 second advantage over John Wilbur. Wilbur with 2.3 seconds over Tony Hanberry as everybody continues on down the backstretch.
And you're right, Tom. The show-up points that they're going to get is not going to change the point standings much for those at the top of the pack. It may help Jimmy a little bit because he's missed a couple races. But for those in the point standings right now among the top 2 and 3, it's not going to be a big factor at all. So our leader, Jimmy Zacharias, coming off turn number 4, lap number 9 of 20, 1 lap away from the halfway point. Wilbur continues to run in second spot with Hanberry in third. Tyler Ripkema going around the Clemens machine over there. That's one of John Markovic's backup cars, 95M. And Gary Folk indeed giving the halfway indication. And a lot of people exiting their seats. I guess they feel this one is a done deal. But, you know, we've seen it more than once that a driver has not been able to make it to the finish for any number of reasons.
We've now got 12 laps in the books for Jimmy Zacharias, looking to pad his race lead. And one of the things that Jimmy is doing is he's up in the overall wins for modifieds in the Northeast. And you can see that in Area Auto Racing News each and every week, as he's currently third in overall pavement modified wins in the Northeast. So Jimmy Zacharias doing a great job as he leads just here in lap number 13. Just about 2.5 seconds over John Wilbur.
Well, it's a big lead, and he is moving. What won't move is you if you choose to leave now. There is a jam up out in the parking lot. You might as well sit back down and watch the conclusion of this one. The parking lot is full, and our head starter, Gary Folk, puts the old high five up in the air, and he will give that indication to Jimmy Zacharias coming off turn number 4 right now with 5 laps remaining. And his trophy collection just continues to grow and grow. He races at various tracks throughout New York State and Pennsylvania. Wilbur still running in second. Tony Hanbury is there in third. He's chopped away the lead a little bit. And let's see if he has anything for him over these final few laps. Tyler Ripton is still running in position number 4 with Mike Nichols. Don't believe we've seen Mike Nichols here in a Sportsman modified before. One of the better street stock competitors in the southern tier. So our leader over in turn number 2 down the back straightaway. He's going to come up on a lap car for sure, but that probably won't be a problem for him this time by. The sticks are in the air. 2 laps to go for Jimmy Zacharias. John Wilbur in second. Third is Hanbury, and yes, that gap has dwindled down to about 5 car lengths as they come off turn number 2. Jimmy Zacharias setting a blistering pace here tonight, as he often does, taking the white flag. When the gold car is hooked up, it is hooked up, and Mike Nichols stopping up there in turn number 2. This is the white flag lap. And I guess Gary Folk believing he is out of harm's way. We are going to end this one with checkered and yellow. Jimmy Zacharias picking up the win. John Wilbur again, our runner-up. So he's got a 6-pack of runner-up finishes, with Tony Hanbury finishing this one in third. Fourth going to Tyler Ripthema and Mike Nichols. Well, I'm not sure he's going to finish 5th now. Stopping over there, he did not finish that final lap.
Well, right now, Jimmy just taking the care to get his safety gear off, and we'll have a word with Jimmy here in just a moment. Again, this iconic car, this gold leaf, car number 71, back in victory lane once again here at Shangri-La 2. He's out of the car, race fans, Jimmy Zacharias, 4 feature wins this season. Jimmy, welcome back. We missed you the last couple weeks, but you haven't forgotten how to get around this place.
Yeah, first off, I got to start off. Somebody let Tony know I'm sorry, but I didn't knock, but I'm home.
Okay. We'll make sure that message is conveyed. Great car tonight, as usual, car on a rail.
Yeah, the first couple weeks the car was down on power. It didn't really look it because the handling made up for the little bit of power we were lacking. But my dad, as smart as he is, went to work and found out what was wrong. The motor was popping and skipping halfway down the straightaway, and he made it right.
Okay, and Jimmy, I know you did this last year, and you're already there this year. You're in the top 5 in pavement modified wins in the Northeast.
I'm first.
Oh, now you're first. Congratulations on that. But that's got to be a good feeling as well, and it gives you a good target to go after.
Yeah, I've been first right off the start of the year. Started down in New Smyrna, getting a win right off the bat, and Since racing started up home, we've been going pretty good. This is win number 12, and we don't plan on stopping anytime soon.
Now you watch these extreme sprints here tonight. How soon before there's one of those in the Zacharias garage?
I already talked to Grandma and told her to tell Grandpa it's all right to get me one.
Yeah, I know Dad over there saying, hey, wait a minute. I can spend your money, Terry. I can spend it pretty good. Jimmy, I know you got a lot of people you like to thank.
Yeah, over and over again. My grandpa and grandma, mom and dad. Without them, me, my brother, or my family wouldn't be here doing what we love to do and competing for wins every week like we do. And then I got to thank my brother, Larry, Josh, Corey, Donnie, Garrett, Wild Bill, and just everybody that helps. I mean, it's a team effort back at the shop. We all put in a lot of hours and make it right.
Well, it looks and shows every time you're here, you come off the trailer, you're ready to race. Congratulations on your 4th of the season.
Yeah, thank you.
Jimmy Zacharias, winner here tonight on Must See Extreme Racing Night. Again, we want to thank everyone for attending the Speedway tonight.